Good morning, guys, and welcome to Storyteller's Corner for Thursday, the 16th of April. And now we're back to our romantic story, When the Stars Align. We're going to visit Vanessa and Nico. As you remember, Nico went away for a short time. Now he's returning, so let's see how they get on in Chapter 9, the reunion at the lighthouse. Time moves differently when you are waiting. In Seabreeze Bay, the day continued as they always had. The tide rising and falling, the gulls crying overhead, the quiet hum of life threading through Arbour Street. But for Vanessa, everything felt marked by absence. Not empty, just incomplete. It had been 3 weeks now, 3 weeks of quiet mornings at Salt and Sage Cafe, where she found herself glancing out the door without realising it. 3 weeks of afternoons at Winwood Park, where the space beside her on the grass felt just a little too open. 3 weeks of evenings at the pier, where the sunsets were still beautiful but no longer shared. And yet Nico kept his promise. There were calls, not every day but enough. Short conversations at first, filled with updates and small details. Then longer ones, stretching late into the night, where silence between words felt just as meaningful as the words themselves. He told her about the places he'd seen, rocky coastlines, quiet fishing villages, and skies that looked different but somehow felt the same. And sometimes he told her he missed her, not casually, but honestly. Vanessa missed him too, more than she expected, more than she had prepared for. But instead of letting that feeling pull her backwards into fear, she let it do something else. She let it change her. One afternoon, standing at the edge of St. Agnes Point, Vanessa realised something she hadn't felt fully understood before. She wasn't the same person who had stood there weeks ago. She just wasn't waiting anymore. She was growing. Her sketchbook had changed too. The pages were fuller now, bolder, the lines more confident, the emotions more visible. She wasn't just capturing what she saw, she was capturing what she felt. And somehow that made it all the difference. The messages came before sunset, a simple one: meet me at the lighthouse. Vanessa's heart skipped the moment she read it. No explanation, no warning, just those words. She didn't hesitate. The path to St. Agnes Lighthouse wound along the cliffs, the grass brushing softly against her legs as she moved quickly, her breath catching, not from the climb but from the anticipation. The sky was already beginning to shift, painted in deep gold and soft crimson, the kind of sunset that felt like it meant something. And by the time she reached the top, her heart was racing. And then she saw him. Nico stood near the base of the lighthouse, his back turned slightly as he looked out over the ocean. His camera hung loosely at his side, forgotten for once. For a moment, Vanessa didn't move. She just stood there, taking him in, real, present, no longer miles away, but right in front of her eyes. Nico! Her voice was soft, but he heard it. He turned, and just like that, everything else disappeared. There was no hesitation this time, no uncertainty. Nico closed the distance between them in a few quick steps, and Vanessa met him halfway. And then, there they were, in each other's arms. The world seemed to fall away, the wind, the ocean, and the fading light, leaving only the feeling of finally being where they were meant to be. Vanessa buried her face against his shoulder, her hands gripping the fabric of his shirt as if to make sure he was really there. "You came back," she whispered. Nico let out a quiet breath, holding her tighter. "I told you I would." They pulled back slightly, just enough to see each other. Vanessa studied his face as if searching for something, any sign that might not be real. But all she saw was him, clear, present, and certain. "You look different," she said softly. Nico smiled. "And so do you." They walked together towards the edge of a cliff, the lighthouse standing behind them like a quiet witness. The ocean stretched endlessly below, waves crashing against the rocks, steady and unchanging. I thought a lot while I was gone, Nico said after a moment. Vanessa nodded. Me too. He glanced at her. I used to think leaving was the only way to figure things out. And now? He exulted. Now I think it's knowing where you want to come back to that matters. Vanessa felt her chest tighten, not with fear, but this time with something deeper. You came back here, she said. Nico shook his head slightly. I came back to you. The words settled into her, steady and real, not overwhelming, not rushed, just certain. I was scared, Vanessa admitted quietly, when you left. I know, Nico said. But not because I thought you wouldn't come back, she continued. I was scared of how much it mattered that you did. Nico looked at her, then something soft in his expression. That's not something to be afraid of, he said gently. Maybe not, she said, but it's new. He reached for her hand, her fingers intertwining with his naturally. It's new for me too, he admitted, but I don't want to run from it any more. The sun dipped lower, the sky deepening into shades of amber and violet. The first stars began to appear, faint but steady. I don't have everything figured out, Nico said. I don't know exactly what comes next. Vanessa smiled softly. Good, that makes two of us then. He let out a quiet laugh. But I do know this, he added. I want whatever comes next to include you. Vanessa's heart swelled, the words settling into a place that felt both fragile and strong. She stepped closer, her voice soft but sure. Then stay, she said. Nico didn't hesitate. I will. And this time, when he kissed her, it wasn't just the moment. It was about everything that had led them there. The distance, the uncertainty, and the choice to come back. The lighthouse stood tall behind them, its light beginning to turn slowly as night fell, steady, constant, and guiding. And beneath it, Vanessa and Nico stood together, no longer wondering what this was or where it might lead. They did not need all the answers, not yet, because for the first time they weren't just finding each other, they were choosing each other. So that's it, guys, for today. Nico's return. Now we're all happy again. So join me tomorrow, Friday, for chapter 10, Forever on the Pier, where the journey comes full circle with a deep, emotional, meaningful conclusion. Yes, guys, this story is coming to an end tomorrow, but we're going to have a sequel. We're going to have a sequel because they're getting married. So don't worry, guys. Although tomorrow will be the end, it's called Forever on the Pier, chapter 10. So join me for that tomorrow, guys. Don't be sad because we're going to see them again in the sequel, and I'll tell you more about it tomorrow. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the story of Vanessa and Nico in Seabreeze Bay. It looks like that love makes the heart grow fonder because they're both in each other's arms, all lovey-dovey. So here we go, guys. But don't worry, guys, we've got Topsy Tickle Town to console ourselves with. Topsy Tickle Down that way. And it is chapter 95. Imelda seeks Kale's true nature. So let's see what that's all about tonight in Topsy Tickle Town. Until then, guys, thank you very much for joining me in Storyteller's Corner and have a lovely day. Bye bye now.